That's the difference between the greats. That's what separates them. When they don't have no more, when it's over, when they're tired, when they're frustrated, when they're ready to give up, when they spent their last dime, that's when they get started.
You are the master of your destiny.
All right, I gotta tell y'all this. You ever seen a giraffe? Like their body? Does it look like a lion's body? When a lion is born and a giraffe is born, are they born with that body?
Once you develop discipline, or if you already have it developed, you will notice how easy it becomes to not buy that expensive hat, burger, earplugs, etc. on impulse. You'll also feel better because you now know you have full control over yourself and your life. This way, you will be building confidence, which will make everything easier. If you believe in what you are doing and you are 100%, then achieving your dreams will be a child's play. Do not get discouraged if you have not developed your discipline to the level you want. Just like every other thing in life, it takes work to get it.
I want to be a millionaire. I want to be the best at this company, right? But your value system says you believe in sleep more than you believe in grinding. Your value system says you are a consumer and not a producer. Listen to me, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, when you ain't got nothing left in your tank, you got to think about the people in your life that you're doing this for. And then if you could think about them, you could go one more mile. You could go one more day at work. You can find a scholarship. Listen to me, when you're doing it for somebody else, when you like that lion, if I don't grind, if we don't grind, if I don't grind, they don't eat.
Listen to that. Feel that. Let it flow through your veins. Your mind is the perfect weapon. What you think, there so you shall be. You have got to understand that you have to take complete control of your life and master your destiny. Your mind is a perfect weapon. It can build or it can destroy. But no matter what, it is up to you to make the right decisions in your life and carry on, mastering your destiny.
And if there's one thing I would say that does make it easier, it's to envision what it feels like when you're done.
And how far are you willing to take yourself? There are going to be many people that are going to try to interrupt your destiny. There are going to be many people in your life that are going to try to pull you back. There are going to be many obstacles in your life that's going to try to take you down. But I'm here to let you know right now that your destiny is in your hands.
Another key to success that hard work leads to is appreciation. When you start making sacrifices, you will also understand why the little things in life are important. Of course, you also value your work and your achievements, but it doesn't have to stop at work accomplishments. A byproduct of this will be building a character, becoming a better person for you and those around you. It will also help you overcome laziness, procrastination, doubts, fear of failure, insecurities, and bad habits. Most people around the world are wasting quite some time waiting for things to happen. This is called living reactive life, whereas proactive is the way to go. People striving for success will never wait for the right opportunity. They will try to create it, thus living proactively. Those waiting for opportunities, which they also rarely capitalize on, are just looking for excuses to delay action.
So get to know those two different types of feelings and ask yourself which one you want to feel in 10 minutes or in a half an hour. When the thing is done, when the discipline has been implemented, remember what that feels like, and then remember that those minutes and those hours, they turn into weeks and months and years, and holding the line in those critical minutes will put you in an infinitely better place physically and mentally if you maintain the discipline.
It's something to consider, because the other side of that is so great and so big, and all it takes is a perspective switch up from I can't afford to lose this, which is something you never really wanted in the first place, to I can't afford not to go after this, because if I don't, my life will be shitty.
I walk in here, you can look at a linebacker and see who a linebacker is. Linebacker look different than a quarterback. Make sure you get what I just said. A quarterback doesn't look like a running back, and a wide receiver doesn't look like a DT. What's going on? It is how you practice. It is what you do that makes you look like you look. It is the process of the grind that shapes you and forms you. It's not the game.
Start putting some pressure on. Put some pressure on yourself. Get out here and get about it. Look, I'd love to sugarcoat this thing for you. I'd love to tell you, look, you can go out here and get rich, do a couple of things. They ain't happening. You got to get real doggish. You got to get downright funky if you want to make it. Now, like I was telling you before, if you want to be ordinary, you ain't even got to listen to me. Just go on about your business.
If you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss.
If you are living life proactively, you have a much better chance of creating the right opportunity and capitalizing on it. Some will say that you were lucky, but that is not even close to the truth. Those working hard towards their dreams and goals can seem lucky on the outside, but it's all a byproduct of what they've done up until now. Seeing results does not only keep you motivated, but it also helps you track your progress. No matter if we're talking about working out, career, dating life, self-care, etc. The only way to keep seeing results is to keep working towards a goal.
Why would you want to be lazy? It's all business, nothing personal. If you want it, go get it. Procrastination will assassinate your motivation. And without motivation, how can you reach your destination?
If things go wrong, they always seem to happen at once, and they just compound on top of each other. And it's pretty easy sometimes to feel beaten when you're faced with all those issues and all those problems, and they all hit you at the same time. But let me tell you, that doesn't mean give up. In fact, it means the opposite. It means it's time for you to fight harder, to dig in. It means it's time for you to go on the warpath. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good, nor talk too wise.
It's when you have nothing left. It's when you depleted all your money, when all your energy gone, when you have nothing left. That's when it's showtime. When you find a way out of no way. When you find breath that you don't have. When you find energy that did not exist. When you want this thing as bad as you want to breathe, that's when you find a way.
And you got to stand tall. And you got to push forward. And you got to believe. And you got to fight. And you got to push. Because you are the master of your destiny. Now, what do you do with it? It's an unknown thing. Life is an unknown thing. But it's always been said that it's beautiful. As long as you're living, it's beautiful. Now, what do you do with it? Are you confused? Are you lost? Are you lost in the wilderness and you don't even know where you need to go and how far you can go? Are you feeling weak? Do you feel that you can't carry on because you don't know what your destiny is? Strength doesn't spell weakness.
Now listen to me. What I'm going to share with you took me years to really understand it. But if you can wrap your mind around it, you can grasp this concept and master it in 3 days. Like you said, if you're a little slow, if you need a little extra convincing is what I mean by that. then probably a couple. And then the rest of you just won't get this at all. And I understand that. Here's the thing that took me a long time to wrap my mind around. It is the concept of gratitude. If you can become extremely grateful and thankful for what you have, you then open up the lanes for you to receive more. But your lack of gratitude sometimes causes the blessings that could flow our way to be blocked. Why would God give you some more stuff for you then not to be grateful, thankful, and appreciative of? Well, it does not make any sense. It goes against Him. It goes against the law of attraction. It goes against everything that makes sense. You cannot push away something and attract it. It don't work. You either pushing or you pulling. You either giving or you receiving. Which one you doing here? You either running your mouth or you quiet. Man, why would God give you some more stuff to not be grateful for? Have you ever just looked at it that way? Maybe you don't have any more than you have because you're not really thankful and appreciative or show gratitude for what you have had or what you do have. Now, you're sitting out there saying, okay, well, how do you do that, Steve, when you don't have all you want?
Just take a paper and pencil out. Just start writing down everything you have to be grateful for. Whatever it is. Your health, you can walk, you can still see. You have a car, may not be the one you want. I have a place to live. I ate today. I see a way that I can eat tomorrow. I got a friend that I can call and share my troubles with. And just be real detailed with it. After you've done that, here's what I want you to do. I want you to read this list every morning you wake up of everything you're grateful for. After you've thanked Him for all this stuff, I want you to take another piece of paper. I want you to write on this piece of paper everything you want. Everything you want. Now what He gonna do is He gonna tie them two lists together. So now since you're showing me all this gratitude for what I've already done for you, remember I said the more grateful you are, the more stuff He'll give you to be grateful for? He gonna take this other list you got and He gonna start putting it on this side. Listen to me. I have no other explanation for my life. I do it every single day. And you know what He does? Slowly but surely, He takes this list and He starts taking items and putting it on the grateful list. He has done it for me like that for years and years and years. He did it for me without education. He did it for me when I lost my mom and daddy, my brother, my best friend. He did it for me when they canceled my TV shows. He keeps taking stuff off my want list and putting it on my grateful for list. If you do them things right there, you'll change your whole life.
Man, this thing is not a magic trick. It's a mental adjustment that we have to make. Everybody got something to be grateful for. But if you in that old woe is me mindset, the oh Lord, I just can't seem to get it together. These bills keep coming. Yeah, they keep coming because you keep attracting them. Lord, I'm so sick of this debt. Lord, help me get out of debt. Well, you just attracted some more debt to get out of. You keep speaking stuff out into space in the universe, and you keep speaking stuff into existence in your life. I can't ever seem to find all men is dogs. Well, here come another one. I can't find nobody to treat me right. Here come another one that ain't gonna treat you right. When you gonna change the way you think? When will we change the way we put out what we put out into space? I'm sorry, man. This ain't Steve, coming up with on this why you over here. You are where you are because you thought yourself there. You thought yourself there. You attracted things to you.
You concentrate on what you have, you will always end up having more, even if it's just $2. If you focus on what you don't have, you will never, ever, ever have enough. So 16 years ago, I started a gratitude journal, and I will have to say, it was the single most important thing I believe I've ever done. So every day, for years now, I've written down 5 things to be grateful for. And you have to write them down. It's very different than just saying, oh, I'm grateful for today. You have to physically write them down because there's power in the words. Even simple things like fresh flowers or somebody holding the door open for me. So when you wake up in the morning and you consciously look for things to be thankful for, what happens is if you go through the day thinking about the 5 things that you're going to do in the evening, you are more alive and receptive to the goodness that comes in your life. Because sometimes it is as simple as somebody holding the door. So when you allow yourself to feel gratitude in the present moment, in the now, what I promise you is that the spiritual dimension of your life begins to change. It opens up, it expands, and you just grow with it. That is the truth. If I ever spoke the truth in my life, if you want to change your state of being, start to be grateful.
When you thank God after something happens, that's called gratitude. When you thank God for something before it happens, that's called faith. The highest form of faith is thanking God in advance before you get the answer. But while you make the request, what do you do while you're waiting? You thank God. Say, God, you know that request I made the other day? I thank you that the answer is already on its way. It's not here yet, but I thank you that the answer is already on its way. And you just keep thanking and thanking. That is the highest form of faith. You don't keep saying, please give it, please give it, please give it, please give it, please give it. You say, God, here's what I need. Now thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That is faith, thanking God in advance.
Say thank you in advance for what's already yours. It's how I live my life. That's why I am, one of the reasons why I am today. Say thank you in advance for what is already yours. True desire in the heart for anything good is God's proof to you sent beforehand to indicate that it's yours already.
The moment you start showing God more gratitude, he'll give you more stuff. What he do is, he not gonna keep giving you stuff if what you got you can't handle already. You kill more blessings by not being grateful. That's the #1 blessing blocker, lack of gratitude.
So he'll work on you until you call it nothing. What do you have to be grateful for? Nothing. Really, nothing? What are you good at? Nothing? We went around the table the other day and I asked a group of people, what are you really great at? And it took us all a long time to answer. I wonder why that is. Because we're so humble? Or because the enemy has messed with us so much now? Because we're all on the verge of 40 and we've gotten so familiar with our deficiency. When you've lived in a deficit for a long time, it overshadows the oil that you do have. He wants you to despise your oil. He wants you to despise the season of life that you're in. He wants you to be thinking about how much time you used to have back before, or how much time you're gonna have when. Meanwhile, the question of the prophet is not what do you wish you had in your house? What do you have left? Because that's what God is going to bless, what you have left. You are his chosen vessel. And the oil you have is the oil you need. And the strengths you have are the strengths you need. And the experiences that you've had are the experiences that you need. But notice this, the oil only flows when it is poured. You can pray over it. You can cry over it, you can wish for it, but until you pour it, it will stay one small jar. If the enemy can't take your oil, he will try to get you to stop pouring. And some of you have stopped pouring. You got your heart broken. You poured your love into your last relationship and it didn't work out, and they left you and they hurt you and they turned away from you. So you stop pouring, and when you stop pouring, it stops flowing. You used to encourage people, and then you got discouraged and you stopped encouraging. But God told me to tell you, keep on pouring. I'll pour more when I get more. But the way it works in the order of God is it becomes more as it is poured. Isn't it just like God to command you to pour something that you don't feel like you have enough of? Strange instruction. I don't have much poured out. It's the weirdest strategy in the world, but I'm gonna tell you, I think this stuff works. I think as you pour it out, it becomes more. Really, I'm convinced of it. Because I tried that thing where you feel sorry for yourself when you're discouraged. I tried the other thing where I encouraged somebody else when I felt discouraged. The first one took me deeper into my deficit and my discouragement. The second one is the weirdest thing because I didn't feel like I had it to give. I wanted somebody to encourage me. And bitterness will keep you from pouring what you have while you wait for what you want.
Eat and sleep that, and that you do that. You do that.
Discouragement is with gratitude. What messes you up is you focus on the thing that's not happening. And that causes you to get discouraged. So whenever you get discouraged, you have to change your focus from what's not happening to what has happened. And it straightens you out immediately. Because what causes the downslide is if you get wrapped up into what ain't happening, it get ugly, man. And it just snowballs. But you have to focus on gratitude. People understand how serious gratitude is. You know, it's a serious principle of success. It's hard to be miserable and grateful at the same time. You know, I learned this at my mother's funeral, man, which was like the roughest. That week of my life was like chaotic, man. I thought I was gonna die. My mama passed. I was 40. I didn't do good, man. I thought I was crumbling. I really, man, I didn't know what that was, man. The most important person to me was gone. I was crushed. I thought I was gonna die. And at the funeral, my mother was a Sunday school teacher for 40 years. And I'm devastated. My mother's in a casket. That's just not the picture I ever wanted to see, right? And I was struggling with her being up there. And the preacher stood up and he said, I know y'all hurting. I got 2 brothers and 2 sisters. He said, but I want y'all to look around at this church. My mama had been a Sunday school teacher for 40 years. Church was packed. It was packed. He said, the overflow room is full. He said, we've put up projector screens in the parking lot. We don't do that on Easter. We just set up projector screens in the parking lot because so many people then came to see your mother off. Said, because your mother meant something to everybody. My mama's funeral was filled with the hood, the gangsta pimps, the hustlers, the dope boys, the police, the politicians, church people. He started talking about, he said, look how full this church is. Look at the lives she touched. Look what she meant to so many people. We got people in this church we ain't seen in years. He said, look at this. And I want you to think of all the incredible things your mother has ever done. And then he started listing the things she had done around the church and what people had said about her. And we started smiling. And this was the first time I had smiled in a week. That week was ugly for me. And he said, now listen to this. You see the smiles on your face? He said, joy and depression cannot reside in the same space. So when you get down and you start thinking about how dark it is, I want you to remember everything your mother taught you that was good. And that replaced all the negative thoughts I was having. Because joy and depression cannot reside in the same space. Well, now, you got to take that concept and apply it to your life. If joy and depression cannot reside in the same place, when you get depressed and you get discouraged, you got to replace it with joy.
Success is something you attract, not something you pursue. Success is looking for a good place to stay. So instead of going after it, you work on yourself. Personal development. See, the major question to ask on the job is not what are you getting? The major question to ask on the job is what are you becoming? See, the big question is not what am I getting paid here? The big question is what am I becoming here? Because true happiness is not contained in what you get. Happiness is contained in what you become. So that's our major subject for tonight, personal development. Of all the assignments Mr. Schoaf gave me at age 25, this was probably the most difficult. In fact, I'm still working on this one. I think it's an unending challenge to see what you can become. The next subject is called Basic Laws, and it's good to study the basics. And I call these basics primarily because they come from the Bible. Now, I'm not a theologian or a minister, and that'll be apparent. But Mr. Schoaf taught me that the Bible was a good textbook for ideas and stories and success equations, how to live the better life. I found out that was true. He also taught me that the Bible is as practical as it is spiritual, and I found out that's true. If you look at your bank account and your income and you're not happy, there's several places in the Bible to check to see what the heck's wrong so you can make the changes. And we're going to cover some of those tonight called basics. Okay, the next subject is my favorite, setting goals. Mr. Schoaf taught me how to set goals. What a favor that was. One morning at breakfast, shortly after I met him, he said, Jim, let me see your current list of goals and let's go over them and talk about them. He said, maybe that's the best way I can help you get a better direction started. And I said, I don't have a list. He said, well, is it out in the car or home somewhere? I said, no, sir. I don't have a list anywhere. He said, well, young man, that's where we got to start. He said, I can tell you right now, if you don't have a list of your goals with you, he said, I can guess your bank balance within a few $100s, which he did. And that got my attention. I said, you mean my bank balance would change if I had a list of goals? He said, drastically. That day I became a willing student how to set goals. And sure enough, learning how to set goals changed my life. And I often wondered why no one had ever taught me how to set goals up until age 25. I went to high school. But if they offered it, I missed it. I went to college for a year, never heard it. I worked for Sears. And to my knowledge, Sears never taught it, right? How to set goals. So here I am, age 25, married, my family's starting, I've been to college, I'm working, and I still don't know how to set goals. But fortunately, when I was 25, I met the man who taught me how. And it revolutionized my whole life. Economically, socially, personally, it's incredible.
We all have people that come against us, make negative comments. Human nature is to get in there and try to straighten them out, prove to them how they're wrong. But the problem with this approach is as soon as you get one person straightened out, 3 more will pop up. If you're constantly trying to defend yourself, you'll get distracted fighting battles that you were never supposed to fight. Do you know how much energy it takes to try to pay somebody back? You are spending emotional energy that you need for your dreams. You don't have to defend yourself. God said He will defend you. Quit worrying about the chatter, the negative comments. Those are all distractions. Well, Joel, I'm upset because I'm a good person. Doesn't matter how good you are, kind, upstanding, somebody's not going to like you. It happened with Jesus. He did nothing but good, but He was falsely accused. He was misunderstood. How did He protect His reputation? It says in 1 Peter, even though He had never sinned, He did not retaliate when He was insulted. He left His case in the hands of God. How much more peace you would have if you would start leaving your cases in the hands of God. I can assure you, God can vindicate you better than you can vindicate yourself. You don't have to try to pay people back, convince them to change their mind. Some people are never going to be for you. They're intent on misunderstanding you. They don't want to see your point of view. Now, don't go the next 5 years engaged in a battle that you're not supposed to be engaged in. Quit worrying about what they think. Quit getting all riled up thinking about how you can retaliate. I'm not going to spend my life worried about what somebody's saying, upset because they don't like me. God, I know You're my defender. That's when the Creator of the universe will go to work. When they try to make you look bad, He'll turn it around and cause you to look good. He'll cause you to shine. Quit spending all your time trying to defend yourself. You have a defender. He knows how to bring justice. He knows how to vindicate you. If you're consumed with what other people think, I've got to convince them to believe in me, then you'll get distracted and miss your destiny. God said He will fight your battles. He'll take care of that friend that's trying to make you look bad. God knows how to settle your case. People can dislike you without a cause. It'd be one thing if they knew you and didn't like you, but they judge you from a distance. They don't like you because you're happy, because you're a different nationality. They'll attack you behind your back and try to belittle, discredit you. Are you going to get offended and try to straighten them out and get involved in a battle that you're not supposed to fight? They don't control your destiny. One of the best things we can learn to do is ignore it. That's how you leave it in the hands of God. And the more successful you are, the higher you go, more people will come against you. Everybody loved you until you got that promotion, till you married that beautiful girl. Now the critics have come out of the woodwork. What the best strategy is to get even, can I tell you what it is? Be still. God said in Jeremiah, I will defend you. I will take on your case. Can you imagine having the creator of the universe defending you? You don't have to try to prove to people who you are. You can stay in peace knowing that it's not your battle. It's your case, but the battle is the Lord's. Can I tell you, He's never lost a case. Why don't you sit back and let your defender do his job? God takes it seriously when somebody tries to discredit you. You don't have to get upset. God sees what's happening. And sometimes He'll cause them to be quiet. Other times He'll let them keep talking and just keep promoting you. They think they're hurting you. The truth is they're helping you. God is paying you back by taking you to new levels. That's your defender at work. Quit living frustrated, trying to win somebody over that's never going to be for you. Everybody's not supposed to be for you. You don't have to try to pay them back, get even. Just run your race with purpose, with joy, and let the negative bounce off of you. I don't mean to be negative, but somebody's always going to be talking about you. Somebody's always going to be jealous. That's not your battle. How much freer could you live if you would start leaving those cases in the hands of God? And as long as you're honoring God, no person can stop you, no group. Promotion doesn't come from people, it comes from the Lord. Some people, no matter what you do, are not going to be for you. Not everyone is going to like you or understand you. If you want everybody to like you, you'll get stuck. How much time are you spending worried about what they're saying? Trying to pay that friend back for making you look bad. You don't have time for all that pettiness. Let it go in one ear and out the other, and use that energy to move toward your God-given dreams.
My iPhone has my vision board on it. I ain't got no picture of no dog or my wife on my phone. My wife is at my house. Because I put stuff that I dream about on my iPhone. So every time my phone rings, I look at it. I think of my visions and dreams. Every time I pick up that phone, I should pick up that phone to make one of them dreams come true. So every time I'm texting or email, I'm trying to make a dream come true. I don't have time for nonsense. What they say about me in the blogs, it don't matter what they say. They don't know me. God keeps blessing me. It don't matter what you say. You got to know who you are and whose you are. I know who I am and I know who I belong to. And that God of mine ain't gonna let nothing happen to me.
I want to talk to you about the concept of taking charge of your life. I know that there have been a lot of times in my life when I've placed unfair expectations on other people. By this, I mean that I've expected them to be something they weren't capable of being, or to be someone they didn't want to be. And I frequently witness this with people. When you place unjustifiable expectations on someone, you assign them a role in your life where they don't belong. People will continue to hurt you if you allow them. So many times, what we do is that when somebody is showing us that they're going to break our heart, what we do is we give our heart right back to them and expect them to repair it. When someone has already shown us that they're a liar, we expect them to tell us the truth. When someone has shown us that all they do is gossip and spread drama and they're messy, and then we give them our information that we don't expect them to share with others, but we know they tell everyone everything, and then we get angry at them for what they did. Please stop putting unfair expectations on people. As that old quote says, when someone proves to you repeatedly who they are, it's better for you to believe them. Because when you know who they are and you still choose to be with them for whatever reason, and then they hurt you, and they manipulate you, you have to start trusting people for who they are in your life. So if they're not loyal, yes, I know sometimes people can change, but remember, you can't change people. They have to make that change by themselves. But if someone shows you that they're loyal, so if someone shows you that they're a thief, why would you have them around your belongings and then get mad when they steal something? Please stop putting unfair expectations on people. It's not fair to you, and it's not for them. So if you know they're not capable to live up to that position, stop putting them in that role. Stop giving them that title that they cannot live up to, because I promise you, they'll break your heart every time they let you down. You can only be mad at yourself. You know, nobody can break your heart twice without your permission. Well, it's true. The first time it's on them, and the second time it's your fault, because they made it clear who they are. If they demonstrated that they can't handle your heart, or that they aren't trustworthy, and you deceive yourself to believe something else, that's on you. And I've been there so many times, so I'm not pointing the finger at you because I've been there. But at the same time, you have to realize to stop placing unfair expectations on people. And I promise it will make your life so much better when you choose to see people for who they are. Trust people for who they show you that they are. It just makes life a lot easier. And you don't get hurt and upset when somebody does something that you knew they were going to do. I appreciate you guys. Conquer your struggles, create new perks, make the world respect your greatness. See you soon.
It's easy to go through life holding on to things that are weighing us down. Guilt, worry, doubt, resentment. The problem is, when you allow these things in, they're taking enough space for the good things that should be there. Imagine your life is like a container. You were created to be filled with happiness, love, joy. But if you allow resentment in, it pushes out the joy. There's not space for both. You can only choose one. You cannot go above 100%. You have a limited amount of room if you allow guilt and worry to take up space. The reason some people don't enjoy their lives is because of their container. Their heart is contaminated with so many things. They have 10% anxiety, 15% bitterness, and mad at their friends and neighbors, 25% guilt and sabotaging themselves for their past mistake, 10% jealousy. They don't realize 60% of their container is negativity. They wonder why they don't have joy, peace, pride, because they have only room for 40% of what they should have. Give no place to anger. Give no place to fear. Give no place to resentment. It can't come in and automatically take over. Watch your thoughts. You have control over what you think about and what you choose to allow in. We all have negative emotions, negative feelings. You have to make the choice. And I'm not going to give this anger, bitterness, worry to poison my life. Every morning when you wake up, we need to empty out anything negative from the yesterday. Maybe somebody offended you at work or school and they didn't treat you right. It's easy to let that offense stay, but you have to be disciplined and keep telling yourself, no, I am not giving this offense any room. This day is a gift from God, and I am not going to let it sour my day. They hurt you once. Don't let them continue to hurt you by holding on to the offense. Being offended is not harming them, it's just harming you. Every morning, start your day with gratitude and empty out the guilt. Empty out the discouragement. And when the impurities come, when the infection comes, don't let it stay, let it pass. Keep your heart pure. If you do this, you're going to step up to a new level and life with more joy, more peace, and happiness. Sometimes we wonder why we can't get ahead and why we don't have any strength. It's because our thoughts are limiting us. You can't think defeat and have victory. Your life is going to follow your thoughts. You need to think power thoughts. Everything starts in our mind. I'm worried about my finances. I am stressed over my children. That's just drawing in more negativity. You will be amazed at what will start to happen if you start thinking positive thoughts. You will feel strength, courage, determination start to rise up. Proverb 4 says, "Be careful what you think, because your thoughts run your life." Are you thinking power thoughts? Or are you thinking defeated thoughts? In every moment, you're actually choosing which direction your life is going to go. Don't just think any thought that comes to mind. If it's negative, don't give it the time of day. If you dwell on those negative thoughts, you'll miss your destiny. When you're in tough times, the enemy will work overtime, trying to convince you that the problem is too big. He knows if he can keep you defeated in your thoughts, then he can keep you defeated in your life. When thoughts tell you it's not going to change, instead of thinking those weak thoughts, turn it around and say, "Yes, I have a lot of problems, but I've been armed with strength for every battle. Whatever God started in my life, He is going to finish it." But if you believing these lies that is too much, then you're going to feel overwhelmed and you'll get stuck where you are. Look at how big your God is. That obstacle is no match for Him when you believe all things are possible. Get your thoughts going in the right direction. You're not fighting this battle on your own. You are not alone. You have the most powerful force in the universe on your side and fighting for you. It is a fact that majority of people are negative, but you can't just fit in and keep thinking like everyone else. God is looking for people that are not discouraged by how big the opposition is. Negative thinking is contagious. All around us, there's negative news. Analysts telling us what could happen, how it may get much worse. It's good to be informed, but you can't let that poison destroy your life. Isaiah 8 says, "Do not think like everyone else." You don't have to fear the virus, fear the future. Just keep honoring God, and He will keep you safe. He will do what medicine can't do. When the majority are afraid and negative, you have to be on the offensive and say, "No, I'm not falling into that trap. I'm going to trust God. Everything is going to be better at the end. I'm going to think power thoughts." I was out riding my bike the other day. Most of the route is flat, but there's one very big hill. I like to exercise and enjoy the challenge, but this particular day, I was tired, and about 10 minutes into my ride, I started thinking, I don't want to go up that hill. I don't want to have to push. Wondering if I could make it up, and at one point, I received a phone call. I started talking as I was riding. About 20 minutes later, I hung up. I thought, okay, I don't want to go up that hill. When I looked around, I realized I had already gone up the hill. But because I was distracted with the phone call and not convincing myself that I couldn't do it, I made it up the hill with no problem. I wonder, how many times we're telling ourselves what we can't do, thinking these weak, defeating thoughts, when the truth is, you have already been equipped to handle it. When God created you, He put in you everything you need to fulfill your destiny. Every morning when you wake up, tell yourself, this is going to be a good day. I am confident and strong. I have the favor of God. I'm so excited about what God is going to bring for me in this day.
Negative thinking. Even the best of us experience it. You're carefully going about your daily activities when, all of a sudden, the thought, what if I'm making a massive mistake, crosses your mind. The ripple effect follows. I have no idea what I'm doing. How come I said that? Why did I consent to that action? I am unable to carry out that action. The process continues, occasionally reviewing exchanges to assess how foolish you must have sounded or what the other person actually meant. What follows is a crippling chain reaction that, with each subsequent bad thought, sends your mind into a deeper spiral of depression and eventual virtual combustion, rendering you helpless in its wake. It seems as though you were able to instantly blow up your entire world on your own, all within the walls of your own thoughts. We all agree that the seemingly unimportant little things in life often wind up being the most significant. Unfortunately, our hectic lifestyle frequently keeps us from sitting down and appreciating even the most minute details of life. Every event in life has two opposing perspectives. Both difficulties and things for which you should constantly be grateful are possible. Focusing on the difficulties will just increase the amount of negativity in your head. You can increase the positive energy in your head by focusing more on the things for which you have a reason to be thankful. Making a list or journaling about the things that make you joyful can assist in stopping negative thoughts. You can always read your gratitude notebook when a cloud of negativity begins to gather. Stopping negative ideas from entering your life can be done by letting go of judgment and the need to compare yourself to others. Consider the widespread presumptions, prejudices, and stereotypes that you could hold that might help develop negative thoughts in your mind. Once you are aware of what they are, you may begin to come up with more effective approaches to change this way of thinking. When a bad idea arises, this can assist in stopping it. A visual distraction, like this one, can aid in diverting your focus from unfavorable thoughts. Another option is to try to divert your attention. Listen to music, take a stroll, think of something pleasant, or phone a friend. Moving on to a different task where you can focus on something more productive helps you feel better about yourself and gives you a realistically optimistic new perspective. This is a method to treat oneself kindly when unsettling thoughts cross your mind. An interruption, a distraction, and a way to alter the activity of brain networks can all be achieved by taking a caring pause for yourself. According to studies, compassion-based techniques such as telling oneself, "I'm doing the best I can," or "I'm being really hard on myself," can significantly alter how the brain reacts to negativity by lowering self-critical thinking and anxiety over time. Have you ever noticed that no matter how hard you try, you end up thinking about something more and more? When people attempt to suppress unpleasant feelings, they accidentally become stronger. According to studies, practicing mindfulness can assist in resolving underlying problems by respecting and embracing the idea and attempting to work through it constructively. Work on observing the thought without passing judgment. Consider the reasons why thinking in this manner is harmful. Ask questions such as, is this idea accurate? Is this idea beneficial? You can build more precise and beneficial ways of thinking and feeling by adopting a cognitive perspective.